My crutch, His grace. You've all heard it said, religion is a crutch. Everyone, in truth, is propping themselves up with something or other. So let people call it a crutch, but I would say so were drugs, alcohol, compromising ourselves for personal gratification, and a thousand other fantasies and endeavors many of us have participated in. And none of those things were even the least bit helpful ultimately, and some even brought painful and sometimes long lasting consequences. But religion, as naysayers call it, or a pursuit of God, is anything less. It's anything but easy, and less so the more heartfelt it is. If the practice of faith, if that is what is meant by religion, is rooted in true experience and a faithful pursuit of God, um, it will bear fruit. It bears fruit and it results in meaningful change within the individual and without. And actually, that translates beyond the individual into the broader community. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, God responds to the Apostle Paul's plea for healing from an infirmity, saying, "My grace is enough for you. My power comes to perfection in weakness." And Paul's response is, "So I will be made all the more pleased to boast of my weakness, so that the Messiah's power may rest upon me. So I'm delighted when I'm weak, insulted, in difficulties, persecuted, and facing disasters for the Messiah's sake. For I'm weak. When I'm weak, you see, then I am strong." So, had a great discussion with a group today after our local soup kitchen, and some of the questions kind of arose out of that conversation. One of the questions was, "What is your difficulty?" And some of us shared some of our difficulties, and the truth is, we all have difficulties. We all have challenges. Um, but the question is, could some of these actually be appointed areas of dependency, areas that God leaves us broken, so we need to lean on Him and lean on each other more? I believe that could be the case. Some of us are able to hide our challenges more than others are able, but to do so is to conceal the hand of God in our lives. And this robs the world of a witness, and it robs the family of God of incredible encouragement to be able to see God at work in spite of the frailties of someone they love and know. No one escapes being wounded in this life. I expect that we'll all limp into heaven itself before experiencing the ultimate hope and transformation of heaven. So, what tools for coping have we learned? God has granted numerous helps or tools for the journey: church, nature, Eucharist, grandchildren, community, creativity, prayer, and more. Some of the things some of the folks shared. These aids may be more aptly called graces, and I'm not adverse to even the word sacrament. They're beautiful, sacred things given to us. And I would add fasting, and there's any number of things we could add to that. The more religious graces are the ones that are often subject to scorn, but they and innumerable other sacred graces, spaces, activities, and practices are peace and life for those who are being saved. Um, Crutches, perhaps, but they do truly encourage spiritual growth, and they do really nudge us or help us inch ever nearer to God. And why would we ever be ashamed of those things that keep us directed towards that holy pursuit? Well, God bless you. Talk again soon.